Now let's cover the practical side of things. How do you get started? So you can go to the Building Smart website. I'll show you the link later. That the application is all online. So you go to our website. You would have to submit these documents: a passport size photograph, your NRIC or passport, academic qualification certificates, or any other kind of professional qualifications. We need to look at, what are the courses you've attended, definitely your logbook, and some sample models or drawings, or documentation like the beam execution plan, which will also include your peer recommendations within the logbook. You can submit your application at any time throughout the year. And from the time that you submit to the time that you get a notification of result will be a period of 2 months. And there will be, remember that there is an assessment test for Tier 2 and 3. So that one will be conducted twice a year, in January every year and in July of every year. Tier 1, what happens is that you'll submit your application right here, right? And then we will schedule for a panel interview, right? If you've passed the interview, you get Tier 1, right? If you don't pass, you can choose to appeal if you have a good reason for doing so. And then there will be an appeal committee to look at your review. Tiers 2 to 4, you would have to submit a logbook as part of your application. So you submit your application here. So we'll have a team that checks the completeness of your application documents and your logbook. So if it's complete and you've met the requirements in the logbook and you've passed the modeling test, right, then your accreditation will be approved. If you don't pass the modeling test or the assessment test, you can retake it after 1 year, right? If you've retaken it again and you still don't pass, there is an option for you to appeal as well. And the same appeals committee will also be looking at your appeal, right? So if you don't need, if your appeal is rejected, then you would have to gain more experience and attend some relevant training and then submit your application again. Okay, so this is a summary of the key events for the year. So Tier 1 applicants, when you submit, you will be informed of the panel interview date. We'll arrange it with you 2 months in advance to book your time for the panel assessment. For Tier 2 to 4, you can submit it throughout the year, but the time that you can take the assessment test is in January and July of every year. Okay, so in a year, we have many activities. In January, there is the assessment test for Tier 2 and 3. February is the time that we conduct the modeling test for Tier 4, right? In March, we will hear the appeals, and the cycle continues. In July, the assessment test for Tier 2 and 3 again. In August, modeling test for Tier 4, and September would be the appeal application. There are some fees for the application and renewal. So if you're applying at Tier 4, it's $100 for application and renewal after 2 years. And if you, for Tier 3, it's $120 for application and renewal. For Tier 2, it's $180 for application and renewal, right? And for Tier 2 to 4, if you are appealing, the cost is $100 to appeal, right? And for foreigners, it is a flat rate of $250. For Tier 1, it's $400 for application and renewal and appeal. And if you are a foreigner, at Tier 1 level, it's $600. So reminder that your accreditation is to be renewed every 2 years. And the exciting news that we want to share is that before Valentine's Day of 2022, and that's 14th of February, if we receive your full application, before then, for the first 50 applicants, your application fee is waived. So, so fill in your application as quickly as you can, because you have to go and get supervisor endorsement. So putting together the logbook will take some time, right? So this is the time to reach out to supervisors from your past projects to get them to endorse your logbook, right? So don't find dates, find your supervisor and get them to sign the logbook. So I'm just going to end off quite soon. I just want to tell you a little bit more about what Building Smart is about, who we are and what we do. We are an open, neutral, not-for-profit organization, and our mission is to create and adopt open standards and solutions, which is why we also offer the test in a few different BIM modeling platforms. And what we really want to do is to maintain an interoperable open BIM for everyone so that there is a collaborative and integrated digital environment throughout the project lifecycle. We've got an international community of BIM professionals because we are also affiliated to Building Smart International, or BSI. And among our members, we've got trade associations, government procurement entities, IHLs, and other BIM software vendors as well. All right. So I'm just going to take you through, very quickly what the registration portal looks like now. So you can scan this, or we can go into ddm.buildingsmartsingapore.org. Okay. You can see over here that you can check your eligibility, right? So you can say, oh, I've got a degree and I've got 3 years of work experience, 2 of which is in Singapore, and I've worked on during this time I've worked on 3 BIM or IDD projects. So it tells me that I should apply for the specialist accreditation because that's the one that I have the best chances of passing at the moment, right? And then you can submit your registration right here. So you can fill out your profile, your work experience, then that helps us to update your personal information, and then you can proceed to submit your application. So you can submit your personal information like your NRIC, and then get the logbook template, which you can download right here. Okay, your academic certifications, sample of your previous BIM work, so BIM execution plan or native BIM files or screenshots, whichever, are all acceptable. Your CV, and also a passport size photo, right? So then you can, if you are looking for where to look at the submission template, so this is where you can find the logbooks as well. Right, so that's a brief overview of what the registration portal looks like. Just a reminder that we also have a clinic session on the 10th and the 16th of December at 4 o'clock. So these clinic sessions are user-led, because we've already provided an overview of what this accreditation scheme is about. But understandably, we are going to get many questions about, whether your experience counts towards accreditation or not. So, because all of our experience is so different and so varied and comes in so many different shapes and forms, this is the time when you can, ask about whether, your experience counts toward the accreditation or not. So with some of the common questions that we've gotten are things like, I'm no longer in contact with my supervisor, then what can I do? Some things like that. So I think, whatever questions that you have regarding your personal experience are things that you can bring up. We just want to express the very practical aspects of this application, which is to fill in the logbook and also passing the assessment test. All right. So if you are keen to register and find out more about this clinic session, please scan this QR code and register. And if you want to give us some feedback, please write into us at enquiry@buildingsmartsingapore.org. Oh, but please, I would like you to just scan this QR code and give us your feedback as well. Did we answer your questions? What are the things that we can do better for the next few sessions? Things like that. So please just scan it and send your feedback. If you've missed that one, we've got all 3 QR codes over here, right? So pick the one that you are going for. Most importantly, please give us your feedback on this session, right? That's the extreme right-hand side one. Okay, if you are interested to ask, more questions about your personal journey, whether this counts or not, come for the clinic session where we can address these questions. And if you are going to start your accreditation journey today, please go on to this scan this QR code to start registering.